Welcome back. Today I want to talk about the Ramayana, one of my all-time favorite epics. And I first fell in love with this. I was on a retreat as a monastic. I finally had a retreat after, I think it was 3 years of monastic life. I finally got my retreat and I went up into the hills for a week and I was living off of carrot juice, which was wonderful. My skin color actually started to change. I drank so much carrot juice. And in the house I was staying in, there was a small, abridged version of the Ramayana. And I fell head over heels in love with this story. And I was in my room just meditating and over again, Rama, 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 over and over again. This whole story was circling inside of me, and I actually fell into a very short Rama Samadhi. And so I've loved Rama ever since. But this story is so significant for the yogi because the Ramayana takes us up into the heart, and the Bhagavad Gita takes us all the way into expansion, into the crown. But that heart, that's the beginning. That is the crux. That is where we really begin to figure out what this entire yogic journey is about. And so I want to tell you about that and why it's so significant when it comes to Kriya Yoga. So let's get into it. So first of all, in the Ramayana and in the Bhagavad Gita, we have this story of something being lost, something being stolen. In the Ramayana, the princes are cast out of their own kingdom. They lose it. And the same thing happens in the Bhagavad Gita. The Pandavas are thrown out, and they have this probationary period of 13 years, which is very interesting. 13 years lost in the jungle, being exiled from their own kingdom. That which they own, they don't own it. They are thrown out of it. And that's you in your body when you are stressed out. This is your kingdom, but you don't own it. You have been thrown out of it. And we have lost the divinity which was given to us, this kingship, this princehood, this princesshood, which was given to us, has been lost. We lost it, and now we're in the jungle. We're in the jungle of the lower nervous system, and we're reaching out and we are attaching. So I like this story about the monkey in the pot, right? So the hunter has to hunt for his family. He has to feed his family, so he's going to hunt some monkeys. And he does this in an ingenious way. He gets a pot, and in the pot he puts some cheese. So when the monkey reaches down into the pot, he grabs the cheese, and all of a sudden his fist is too big to pull out of the pot, and now he's stuck. He has chained himself to that position, and the hunter comes and collects him. And that's what happens to us in life, right? We chain ourselves to an attachment point, to a craving, to something, to a worry, to a concern that we just can't seem to let go of. And so life comes and collects us because we're imprisoning ourselves, right? And so that's us reaching down through our lower nervous system, becoming engrossed, becoming overly worried, becoming overly concerned, and we've lost the kingship of being in the heart. And so the whole Ramayana, Sita is stolen. She represents the Kundalini. Now, when people think of Kundalini, they usually think of energy. Oh, I felt this energy. Well, that's prana. Prana means energy. Kundalini, Shakti, means power and intelligence. That little curled intelligence, right? And so that's the true meaning of Kundalini. It's not simply energy. There's a different word for that. Prana is the word for energy. Kundalini, Shakti, power, intelligence. That intelligence is being lost. It is out in the world, in our concerns, in our worries, in our perpetual craving for the thing, for the condition that is going to give us momentary happiness. And we base ourselves on that happiness, which is unstable, right? I got the thing, therefore I am happy. Life takes away the thing. Oh my God, my state of mind, my state of heart has deteriorated, right? And that's what we don't want. So this is a wonderful video game type setup. We keep choosing the wrong option. And the Ramayana and the Bhagavad Gita are saying, wait, there's another choice. There is a transcendent choice, and you can reclaim that intelligence which has been lost. You can reclaim it back into your own kingdom. And so in the Ramayana, there's this glorious, epic battle which takes place. And that is you in your meditation, when you sit and you quiet down. Those quiet exercises which you are doing, the HRV resonance, the sitting very still, the noticing the four proofs, the Om Japa in the chakras. This is your war of meditation. Isn't that amazing? That's why the Ramayana and the Bhagavad Gita are a battle. It's a battle which you are engaging in. It's a very calm. So you're battling stress. You're battling, I don't get it. You're battling, I have to do this. I have to be out here. I have to be tense. I have to be engaged. I have to fight, fight, fight. That's all your sympathetic system. And certainly there are times in our lives where we have to do what we have to do. We have to defend ourselves. We have to defend our family. But we're not meant to engage in that 1,000% of the time. We're meant to retreat back into peace, back into the parasympathetic system. So your nervous system is battling between simply a sympathetic answer only and also having this deep parasympathetic answer. And that's what meditation is offering. And so there comes a little battle where you're trying to figure that out. And the answer is very, very simple. HRV resonance, sitting very still, notice the four proofs. That is the beginning of choosing the correct side of the battle, choosing the parasympathetic. So Rama wages his war to get back his wife, Sita, who has been stolen. She's been stolen away to an island, Sri Lanka. So they wage the battle of your parasympathetic system, and they win the war, and they go to the island, and they retrieve Sita from the island, which is Earth, the very first chakra, Earth. And they leave that island and they cross over the gap to the mainland of India. So they cross that gap of water, which is the second chakra. And they return Sita, they're returning her to Rama, which is the prince. He is representing this higher self-consciousness, this upper nervous system inside of us. They're returning Sita, and they have a discussion, and Sita says, let me prove myself. And she willingly walks into fire to prove herself, to prove her purity. And that is the third chakra, fire. So we have 1, 2, 3, earth, water, fire. And Sita rises through all three, and only then does she embrace Rama in the heart. He is representative of the higher nervous system, the beginning of that. So in these epics, there are stories within stories within stories, and there are philosophical points, and there are gems of wisdom, and there are all these wonderful, wonderful things. But this return to your parasympathetic system, this return to the heart, is everything. It is the core of the story. And so knowing that about the Ramayana and knowing that about the Bhagavad Gita makes it clear how these relate to you in your own journey into meditation. And I call this, what we're doing, this is the roll-up of consciousness. And so first of all, we've got to learn about HRV resonance, because if you're not doing that in meditation, and you're not doing it every single time, then it means you are holding back from yourself this amazing technology which makes your meditation completely reliable. And that's really the heart of yoga, reliability, that I know how this works and I can help myself to make it work every single time by getting into, first of all, HRV resonance. And then we get into the freeze response. That's a deeper expression of your dorsal vagal, your parasympathetic system. And that right there will allow you to win this war of meditation. So they win the war, and now you rule the heart. You've had a roll-up of consciousness into the heart. And you might feel that as energy. So you may feel that the prana moves. I felt this energy come up, and then yogis will say, I felt a little blossoming in my heart. And sometimes this is huge. So sometimes it's like, oh my God, it just exploded. And sometimes it's very, very subtle. It came up, and then it just kind of blossomed. And then the test that I've talked about before is, are you concerned about the worries and concerns that you had before? I have to do this, or I have to do that, or I have to worry about this, and I have to worry about that. I have to. Are you above that in this moment? Can you look back on those worries and go, oh yeah, there's things I need to do, but I'm not worried. Once upon a time, I had a very strong worry. I just couldn't leave it alone. It was just bother my mind like crazy. And so I would go into the worry, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I have to do this, and I have to do that, and I have to prepare, and blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, wait, this is crazy. And I did the Om Japa in the chakras, the first 3 chakras. I came up, I rolled, my consciousness came up into my heart, right? I felt this blossoming in my heart, and then I looked on the same worry. And instantly, the message I got from the higher self is everything is going to be okay. Everything is okay. Everything is going to be okay. So all these machinations of the ego were all because of the lower concerns of the first 3 chakras. I was embroiled in them, and I couldn't see clearly. And I had to have a roll-up of consciousness in order to let go. And then I instantly got the message, the download, it's going to be okay. Rest in peace, rest in love. It's going to be okay. And then I would fall again, and I would fall back down into these machinations. Oh my God, I got to do this, and I got to do that. And I got to prepare, and I got to fight, and I got to, all these egoic machinations, right? And I said, no, this is crazy. This is a kind of craziness of the lower chakras. And then I did the Om Japa again. I entered into the low idle state, like I teach. I did the Om Japa in the chakras, like I teach. And the consciousness came up, which is a roll-up of consciousness. It came up into the heart, and boom, everything is going to be okay. The things which you think you need to do are not the things you need to do. The things that the ego are telling you to do are not the things you need to do. You need to be at peace. You need to let go. You need to not worry. You need to trust. And oh my God. Okay? And it took several tries. I fell down, I got back up. I fell down, I got back up. I fell down, I got back. Okay, that's it. I give up. I'm going to trust. I don't like being down in the lower concerns. I don't like that. I don't like this egoic craziness. I don't like it. I can recognize it. That is not me. I don't want to be that. I choose this. I take the higher road. I take the road less traveled. That's the roll-up of consciousness. And when you've had enough exposure to everything that I'm saying, this is the crux of what we are doing. The whole thing which we are attempting to do is facilitate, to induce, not force. We're not forcing Kundalini. It's not about the energy. It's about this consciousness. Yes, you will feel some energy go up. Yeah, great, fantastic. You might feel it all the way up into your brain. You might feel it all the way to the top of your head. Yes, fantastic. But the consciousness is the point. The consciousness is what made us come. It's what made us show up. I want that consciousness. We saw it in somebody who was meditating. We saw this peace. We saw this calm. We saw this love. We saw this joy. We saw this knowing. We saw this expansion. And we said, I want that. That's why we're showing up. The consciousness. Not the Kundalini, not the energy, the consciousness. The experience of Kundalini facilitates the consciousness. You understand, in the story, it was not about Sita. It was about returning to Rama consciousness. When the Pandavas win the war, they sit in the kingdom and they enjoy the peace. And that is you in the para avastha, the after effect poise state. I did the work of the meditation, and now I'm sitting here enjoying this peace. That's you finally returning to rule the kingdom. And this, again, is everything. And only after ruling that kingdom for some time, means you're in HRV resonance, you're in this deep freeze response, you're in all of that, and then you climb up the mountain and the Pandavas go back into heaven. Only then do they go into heaven. And that return back to the brain is the core of everything that we're doing. This return of the consciousness back to the brain is everything that we are doing. It's the whole crux of the story. And that's why in my book, at the very beginning, I show you a tree. And then again, I show you another tree. And in the Bhagavad Gita, they say very clearly, if you know this tree, you know it all. Everything that we are trying to say to you is in this tree. What is the tree? You were down here. You were caught up in the limbs of your life, the worries, the concerns, the endless turmoil of the lower three chakras. And then you rose above. These are the Pandavas. And you ascend into Krishna consciousness, up into your brain, where the roots, this is where you came from. The tree goes down. This world is not your home. Your home is in the roots. And if you understand that, if you understand the roll-up of consciousness, you understand everything. This is what the Ramayana and the Bhagavad Gita are attempting to tell you. And they say it. If you know this, you know it all. You understand the crux. You understand the heart of what we are attempting to do. It's all about coming back to the heart, coming back to joy, coming back to love, coming back to compassion, to peace, to equanimity, to tranquility, to bliss. And this is why my guru Ashokji, he always told me, point yourself towards bliss. It will never lead you wrong. Because now you're pointing towards the upper nervous system. You're pointing first to the dorsal vagal, and then second to the upper nervous system. That's it. Now everything is correct. When you point yourself towards those, towards bliss, what is he talking about? First the dorsal vagal, second the higher nervous system, which includes the 4 Brahma Viharas, loving kindness, compassion, joy which comes out of freedom, equanimity. All of these are transcendent. So I had happiness. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I had something. Okay, I'm happy about that. Okay, this is removed. Okay, the happiness is gone. Joy is not dependent on anything. Loving kindness is not dependent on circumstance. Compassion is not dependent on circumstance. Equanimity is not dependent on circumstance. Bliss is not dependent on circumstance. It is, all of those are transcendent. And now you know, when you are transcending, I am in the realm of the upper nervous system. I understand the tree. I understand the Ramayana. It's about this roll-up of consciousness. So I hope that you love this. If you did, be sure to hit that bell down below so I can see all of you next time.